Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Single best idea on a Monday. What are we trying to accomplish here? Everyone's listening to 20-minute podcasts, including David Gura in The Big Take. And that's the way the industry's gone. What we're trying to do is slip in a shorter conversation, 6-7 minutes, and generally 2 insights from our many guests. And in any given day, we can pick 3, 4, 5, 6 insights. But I really decided to keep the podcast short. We hope it fits into your daily podcast schedule. And thank you to Apple for driving the podcast industry forward, and Apple Podcast as well. The single best idea today could have been any number of voices. We start strong with a gentleman who is, pretty much congenitally said disinflation's in order. And, of course, David Rosenberg gets all fired up in Toronto when disinflation is in order. He would suggest the Fed is behind. David Rosenberg on what the Fed will do next.
I don't think that they have to wait. I think that the Fed is still somewhat shamed for having missed 9% inflation in the summer of 2022 and leaning so hard on transitory, although 18 months in real time doesn't sound transitory, but in the overall annals of economic history, 18 months is still pretty transitory. But they still seem to be fighting for their credibility. When they talk about that they need more confidence, just saying that they need more months or many more months of the disinflation trend that really dominated most of last year. So I think that part of it is just basically the horrible memory of what happened in 2021, 2022, and blowing the call. And that's one of the reasons I think that they're going to be deliberately slow to start cutting interest rates. But I think when they do, they're going to be pretty significant.
David Rosenberg there, and just literally as I was, we're always in the interviews when Paul's leading the conversation, I'm out looking at all the zeitgeist and that. And literally, as Rosenberg was on, there was Paul Krugman, the laureate, writing, of course, for the New York Times. And Professor Krugman out on Twitter saying, look, ex-shelter core inflation is 1.9%. So that gives you some idea of the trend. Jason Furman up at Harvard would put the ecumenical set of X number of inflation series at a higher level than the drama of 1.9%. But certainly the inflation report that we saw continues to resound. Now, tomorrow we'll have retail sales, which is a nominal number. That'll be interesting to see if that comes in light as a nominal number. Again, that could be market moving, showing lower prices in retail. Again, any number of good guests. It was just wonderful to have Nela Richardson in with ADP, with automatic data processing, talking brilliantly on our paychecks and the calculations that ADP sees with their almost monopoly, I'll say, on the market. Before her, Stephanie Roth was with us, Stephanie Roth of Wolf Research. And Stephanie is magnificently math-driven and statistics-driven, data-driven. Here's Stephanie Roth on the data, the reality of America's immigration.
So when you think about the steady state of payrolls growth, forgetting about immigration, we're talking somewhere, there's domestic growth of 85 to 100,000. That's without sort of strong immigration trends. Immigration trends roughly double that.
Double?
Roughly double that. So, for example, the Biden administration humanitarian parole programs, which is bringing in people from Mexico and then Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela, bringing in 75,000 people per month, and they're able to get a work visa within 30 days.
Stephanie Roth there, and she went on. It was a really fabulous conversation about something everybody in economics is working on right now. It's a mystery of immigration. It's been with us for so much of 200 plus years, but the new immigration and what it means, of course, a huge part of the political election. I do want to know David Gura driving our coverage of the debates coming up. That'll be really interesting to see the CNN debate. We'll have David in to give us perspective, as there had Greg Giroux of Bloomberg Government in today as well. It is the beginning of an eventful week, any number of themes, but I do want to mention we are at Surveillance watching the geopolitics of the United Kingdom and France. You talk about a special relationship, both of them, with massive elections to coming up, I should say. We say thank you to Audrey Child Freeman of Bloomberg Intelligence writing on foreign exchange, who was just fabulous today on some of the tensions that they see in Paris. We're out on Apple CarPlay on Android, the Bloomberg Business app. It's free. There is no cost to get on Apple CarPlay. It's safer. It's better. They're coming out with a new version, I'm told, sometime this fall, all souped up and fancier. And, of course, on YouTube, search Bloomberg Podcasts. Subscribe to Bloomberg Podcasts for all of what Bloomberg Radio does. Maybe a special shout-out here at Bloomberg 1130 as well. On Apple Podcasts, it's single best idea.